Actually, so Bay is a true love story to our moms, and damn, I'm gonna start crying. We haven't started yet. I lost my mom a year ago, and it hits home because a lot of these recipes are my mom's, his mom, right? So it's a love story to our moms and to Lebanon, right? Beirut. So Bay, B-E-Y, is our airport code in Lebanon. The same way it's ATL here, it's B-E-Y in Lebanon. So if you know, you know. Like if you're Lebanese and you know
You
that
know it.
Bay,
Oh yeah.
this is what it is, right? And it's B-E-Y because the French way of writing Beirut was B-E-Y, R-O-U-T-H.
And the Old English.
And Old English, yes, Beirut.
Okay.
So this is why Bay. This is why it's called Bay.
Welcome back to Roswell Brew Talks. I'm Andy Williams, President and CEO of Visit Roswell, the city's official destination marketing organization. And just a couple quick things before we get into this. We are extremely proud and excited to announce that we were the recipients of the Al Burris Award for Creative Expression through the Georgia Association of Convention and Visitors Bureaus. This was one of just a few Georgia Tourism Awards recently giving out. And we received that award as a creative public relations initiative throughout a community throughout the state of Georgia. We were picked to that after applying for it. And I just think that was a really cool way to recognize the team and all the work that's been done on Roswell Brew Talks. I think what's most special about this podcast is that we bridge both tourism and economic development together. And it's just a really cool story when we can get together with local businesses like today, local attractions, nonprofits, and what have you. And we're just extremely excited and grateful to the community for tuning in and watching those and make them the success that they are. Also, we are officially now sponsored by Wellstar Health System.
Healthcare.
So we appreciate everyone at Wellstar, John Paul and the whole team, and appreciate their support of this podcast as well. Moving on up in the world, I guess.
There we are. We're moving on up.
Absolutely. And I will kick it over to Steve now to introduce our guests. We're really excited to have
Thank
these
you.
two gentlemen on.
Andy, it is exciting time. I'm Steve Stroud. I'm President and CEO of Roswell Inc., your economic development organization in the city of Roswell. And today, I'm very excited to have these two gentlemen in our studio, in our living room, we call it. Mark, CK, owners of Bey Mediterranean, Southern Post. If you've not been there,
Yep.
you need to go to Southern Post, and you need to have dinner at their wonderful location. I understand we got brunch,
Or
too.
brunch, I was gonna
right?
say,
Oh,
or
yeah,
brunch,
I was
Sunday.
going to say brunch.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday
good deal.
brunch. So make sure you join them. So guys, you've been in business now a little over 5 months, and tell me how Bey came about, and what does Bey mean, right?
Actually, so Bay is a true love story to our moms, and damn, I'm gonna start crying. We haven't started yet. I lost my mom a year ago, and it hits home because a lot of these recipes are my mom's, his mom, right? So it's a love story to our moms and to Lebanon, right? Beirut. So Bay, B-E-Y, is our airport code in Lebanon. The same way it's ATL here, it's B-E-Y in Lebanon. So if you know, you know. Like if you're Lebanese and you know that
know
Bay,
Oh, yeah.
this is what it is, right? And it's B-E-Y because the French way of writing Beirut was B-E-Y, R-O-U-T-H.
And the Old English.
And Old English, yes, Beirut.
Okay.
So this is why Bay. This is why it's called Bay. That's. What else do we have?
So yeah, and the other thing that Mark failed to mention is that he cooks everything exactly like he cooks it at home.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So when you're eating with us, you're basically eating at our house. Everything is done fresh every day. And I've had multiple people tell me, like, your salads, for example, they're so fresh. Why is that? Because nothing is pre-mixed. Everything is mixed on order. So it truly represents our culture, our home life. And sometimes you get people and it's like, oh, my mom does it differently. And that's true because not every mom's going to cook the same.
Sure.
But everybody is loving the way our moms cook, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, we'll jump into some recipes and talk about maybe some of the hottest selling items on the menu. We always like to talk about why Roswell too. And you know, what's really exciting is you guys are one of the first restaurants to open in Southern Post. That's our mixed use development. We've got plenty of office space over there. We're going to have a boutique hotel as a part of that project coming online here in the future. And so, why specifically Roswell? Why was that the location that you chose to call home for Bay? But also, why was Southern Post appealing to you all? It's just really exciting to be over there.
So why Roswell first? We live in Sandy Springs, right? So we know the area very well, and Roswell was always attractive to us because it's like a developing foodie place. So we used to always come here to grab a bite, and our biggest complaint every time would come was parking.
Yeah, sure.
So
A topic of subject.
Yes.
so when Southern Post became available, we're like, it is in a city we want to be in, and it offers parking. So it's like, that's a great thing. The other thing is that Roswell, we felt that it is a community before we came in, but then when we established, oh my God, I cannot talk highly enough of this city. And not because I'm here and with you, but it has been very supportive. As you said, we're the first restaurant to open. There was no foot traffic, nothing. Within a month, our weekend was full. You need a reservation within the first month.
Yeah.
Because every time somebody would eat there and somebody would be like, oh, I'm on Roswell's Mom's, I'm gonna post it there.
Yeah.
And then we'll get several reservations after that from Roswell Mom. I'm on Roswell's Women, and then we get multiple reservation. And then you had, from the first month, repeat customers who every time would come bring with them new people. And it was like they're working on making sure we're successful. And you'd hear that from every single person. We want you to be successful.
Yeah.
And we did feel that there is no Lebanese Mediterranean in Roswell. Yeah, there's
Right.
Persian, there is one other Mediterranean, Greek, but there was no Eastern Mediterranean. So it was good to be able to establish here, and people are loving it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there was a market gap. I mean, there was no Lebanese, but still, I mean, Roswell was always charming. There was always you had that sense of community that Tika was talking about. You felt it when we came up. Like we would come up for brunch, we'd come up, midweek, and then you felt it. Like even if you don't know the restaurant owner or the people eating around you in the restaurant, you always felt that sense of community and welcoming and love, truly. And we were supposed to open this restaurant in 2019, right before the pandemic, and the pandemic happened. And we scratched those plans. And it was supposed to be in Sandy Springs. And then through the pandemic and through the 4 years kind of that led after that, and us knowing Roswell more and more, we made the conscious decision actually that we wanted it in Roswell. And then it so happened that our, real estate guy came up and said, you know what? We look at Roswell, there's this new development, Southern Post, let's come look at it. The minute they showed us the parking deck, we're like, sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
There's
in.
a parking deck, we're
In.
good.
Yep.
Well, one of the things, going back to what you said about your mom's recipes, both of you, it's very clear that comes out when you eat there and you dine there. Because in reality, each plate has that love. You feel it, and you taste it, right? And you're always tweaking the menu, which is awesome, which I think is great.
Always.
And-
It doesn't end.
No, and that's what makes it personal.
And
right?
we want to also keep it interesting for people. We don't want people to come and say, oh, I've already eaten the whole menu.
Right,
Right.
sure.
So that
Right.
every time you come, there's a new thing. And then some favorites will go away and then we'll come back.
Sure.
Well, I remember the first time I met Mark, we talked about the menu and we talked about different things. And it was like, the menu's not so large that you're not flexible with it, right?
Right.
That there's too many choices here, right? And really were helpful and, hey, you ought to try this, you ought to try that. You really might like this, and I think that's the beauty of being your own entrepreneur, right?
It is. There's no how do you call it? Like multiple steps to make a change, right? You can.
Right.
I want to make a change. I'll make a change tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why I left corporate world.
Right.
I was a director of catering at the Four Seasons in Midtown, and I loved it. And I loved the company. And the Four Seasons, it's amazing at customer care and personalizing the experience. And I took all of that and our love for Lebanese hospitality, and we came up with Bey, right? And that's how we function. That's our MO. And you say cooked with love, it truly is. And it sounds like a cliche. And like somebody would ask me like, hey, why is your moussaka so good? Like why does it feel so good? I'm like, listen, it's a simple recipe, but it's cooked with love. And I know when I don't cook it with love, it doesn't taste good. Like I really do.
Yeah.
Like if I'm coming in and rushing to cook something to get it done, it does not come out the same.
Yeah.
If I don't give it enough time and attention and time on the stove and let the flavors marry, and it's not the same.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
It's still good though.
It's still good.
Yeah, there
It's
you
still
go.
good, but it.
But I can tell the difference.
For
Yeah.
sure. Well, on that note, what are some of those like hot ticket items? Are there items on the menu that you see that people are typically gravitating toward? Are they repeat, customers coming in getting the same thing? What are the hot sellers for you?
So the nice thing about the menu is that every item has a story. So
Okay.
when I'm talking to people and I'm sharing those stories about every item, you can tell different people connect with different things.
Right.
And then that becomes their go-to.
Right.
But our top seller as an app is probably the cauliflower. You wanna
Okay.
talk about that?
As an app, yeah. It's again, it's simple. Like the menu isn't complicated, like Steve was saying. Like it's actually simple items, but some of them have had like a little bit of a tweak here and there. So the cauliflower is just kind of tossed with this beautiful secret harissa recipe that we make. We fry it, we toss it in that harissa recipe, and we put it on a bed of tahini. So you have the spiciness that comes from the cauliflower, and then it kind of cuts it into that tahini, the colder element on the plate. People love it because you taste it. Initially, there's nothing, and then the heat comes in, and then the sweetness comes in, and then you have the tahini that comes in at the end. But the top seller is our braised short rib.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
That is a grand slam.
Yeah.
I had to, and people were like, "Why do you have a short rib on a Lebanese restaurant?" I'm like, "Why not?"
Yeah.
I mean, we do have something similar in Lebanon. It's a short rib, but I mean, so we give it the Lebanese treatment. So I braise the short rib, and then we cook it for 5 hours. Like it literally goes in the oven for 5 hours after it gets all the love and the wine and everything that cooks with it. And then we don't serve it the same day. It has to rest. It rests until the second day, actually. So the second day, so it rests in its own liquids, and then we take it out. And the second day, and then we cut it, and then we serve it the second day. You don't eat it the same day. But then it's actually a za'atar braised short rib. So we braise it with oregano. Za'atar is our nice oregano, thyme, sesame mix that we kind of braise it in, and then we cook it in. And then at the end, when you get the dish, it has like a sprinkle of za'atar on top. Which kind of gives it this herbaceous flavor with the meat. I had a lady on Saturday. She was dining, and then the server came and asked me. She's like, "There's a lady outside. She wants to know what's in this liquid." I'm like, "What's wrong? Why does she want to know?" Like, right? Like, what's going on? What did we do wrong? So I went and talked to the lady, and she goes, "This is amazing. I need a straw for this juice. What is this juice?"
Straw.
I'm like, so I told her, listen, I will give the recipe to anybody. You can give the recipe to 10 people that cook it 10 different ways. So it's fine. So I told her, I said, yeah, you know what, we braise it, and then we do the onions and the celery and everything, and then we do the wine, and then, but the liquid that you have is actually literally the juice of the braising.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's like, which wine? I'm like, hold on. So I literally went and I grabbed the jug of the wine. I'm like, this is the wine. Take a picture of the
There you
label.
go.
Yeah.
She's like, what about the peppers? There's peppers. But I'm like, yep, I used the whole black pepper. So I don't know where I was going with this, but the short rib is amazing.
Yeah,
People
the
love
short
it.
rib is off the chart.
Yeah.
That goes to what we talked about earlier. Like when somebody says, this lady wants to talk to you about the juices of the thing, I'm usually coming like, so what is it that you liked about it? Mine is coming like, what is the...
Right. Well, that lady's now like opening up Bay
yeah.
2.0 in the next community over.
When we were creating this dish, they cooked it maybe like 5 times because every time I was like, no, it needs more oomph. It needs more of the za'atar. Until finally I'm the taster, as you can tell.
Somebody's got to taste.
Well, it sounds good.
Somebody's got
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
It was
So
awesome.
you also have a wonderful bar menu, like an extraordinary selection of drinks that are special drinks, actually.
So that's probably the part of the job that I like the most. As you know, my other job, I get drug reps.
Yes,
Here
you
I
do.
get liquor reps.
Yeah, there you go.
I like those way better.
I know. So you brought it up. So talk to our audience about what your profession is.
So I'm a neurologist. I'm affiliated with Wellstar, actually. I wanted to give a shout out to Wellstar when you
Wellstar,
said it.
yeah.
So with Kennestone, which is right across the river.
Yep.
So I'm a child and adult neurologist, and my specialty is headache medicine.
Yes.
And our office is in Sandy Springs.
He's
It's
a
the-
miracle worker. I'm going to
I was about to say, that's no small job.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put a personal plug in. He has changed our personal life for Amy.
That's right, yeah.
In headaches, it has made such a difference in the 9 years we've been together. In her quality of life, it's just amazing. So then, when you show up to add to our waistline.
That was
so our
such a surprise.
Yeah, our brain is clear and our tummies are full.
Yeah.
What a combination,
That's
right?
awesome.
No, I just have to say thank you.
You brought in your wife. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
That's
we
hilarious.
know each other.
Y'all didn't even know this at that
No.
point? Really?
No.
Not at
Wow.
all. It was
the
totally
way I
random.
would've connected.
Yeah.
I knew of,
Yeah.
right? But I had always met his PA
Yeah, sure.
when I'd been down there. And
Crazy.
it is amazing how it has changed our lives. So,
And this happens frequently. Like patients show up. Either they're my patients, like, oh my God, or I don't know who they are. And then when
Right.
we get to talking, it's like, where do you work? I work Southeast Center for Headache. It's like, oh my God, that's where I go.
Yeah,
so
sure.
thank you. But anyway, yeah, you get drug reps during the day.
So the liquor
Yeah.
reps, it's a good experience because you sit down. We don't have anything on the menu that we haven't personally tried, right?
Right.
So we try every single thing, and we wanted to introduce new wines. First of all, let's talk about wines before we go to the cocktails, because we have a few that those people who want what they're comfortable with, but we wanted to introduce the Mediterranean wines.
Yes.
So we have from all over the Mediterranean to bring that new flavor. And Lebanese wines are always in the top 10, if not top 3, in every international competition. It's just that people don't know about them here. But you go to Europe and everybody knows the Lebanese
Got
wine.
it.
You go to the Middle East, everybody knows the Lebanese wine. So we just wanted to bring that here because they're winners. So they're totally worth trying.
Sure.
Let me jump in on this Lebanese wine. Before we opened the restaurant, like we were like in the planning phase, right? Like a couple months prior to opening. So I started meeting with the liquor reps, and then they will ask me the question. So how's your wine list? Is it done? I'm like, yep, it's locked. They'll be like, but hold on, but what's on your wine list? I'm like, Lebanese wines. They're like, listen, you're not gonna get many buyers for these Lebanese wines.
Really?
You need to get these commercial names. I'm like, nope, that's I want these Lebanese wines.
Yeah.
And they did play with they did, in the back of my mind, like, are they for real?
Yeah, they
Right?
put the
To listen
doubt.
to
They're
them.
playing,
There was a
yeah.
doubt, right? But I'm happy to say that people come to Bay to experience the food and to have an experience, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's
They
what
want to experience the
dining
food, they
is.
want to experience the wine.
And they're loving it.
Right, and they want to
Yeah.
experience the Lebanese wines. And if the server actually doesn't come out first and say, hey, you know what, these are the great Lebanese wines you got to try, they're upset. And they will talk to me. They're like, they didn't lead with this. This is an amazing wine. I know this cab, but I need to try these Lebanese wines. So they come in to experience the whole thing. They want the whole experience.
And that's a good point, actually. When we're trying to open, the debate when people, everybody is giving you their ideas,
Advice, yeah.
was always about Americanize the menu. And we're like, no, we want to give them the authentic experience.
Sure.
And our experience since we've opened is that actually Americans like authentic food.
Yeah, oh,
Like,
yeah.
they're enjoying that a lot.
yeah.
And I've had multiple guests tell me, where did that idea originate that Americans need their food Americanized?
Right.
We actually don't want that.
Yeah,
we want to eat authentic Mexican. We want to eat authentic Lebanese.
Yes.
We want to
Yes.
eat all of that. But it's an idea floating around, like
Right.
the wines,
Yep.
Right.
that Americans are not open to other stuff. And that's so not true.
That's
Oh yeah,
right.
no.
No.
I just got back from a conference and it was all about like patterns and tracking. What's the new thing? What are people into? What's going to get different visitors and travelers into your community? And authenticity
Yeah.
is the word that just
Key.
constantly comes up. It's actually been, it's been a trend for several years. But it's if they were hammering something home, it was
Absolutely.
do what you do really well and don't fluff it and don't sugarcoat it. Have it be what it is and let it be, and people are going to gravitate
And
toward it.
every guest says exactly the same
Yeah.
thing. So it's completely true. And I'm glad that we didn't listen to the other
Sure.
voices
Right.
and we went with the authenticity.
No, and I think that sets you, obviously, it's more authentic, but it sets you apart, right? I think we're a foodie community.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
100%.
We always talk about the lowest performing chains other than Chick-fil-A, right? Chick-fil-A is one of the top 10% in the country right here in Roswell, Georgia, in sales. But other than that, when you look at the chains that are in Roswell, they traditionally are in the bottom third of performers in the metro Atlanta area. Now, that tells you a lot about what we eat, who we are, and the demographics of all of that together.
Chef-driven dominates.
Chef-driven
At the end of the day.
dominates. My kids want to go to places that they can't go with us, right? They want to go to places that are new and exciting and not the same old, right? And I think that's a lot of people in the Roswell
We
area.
all crave that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I would
absolutely.
never go somewhere to eat at a chain.
yeah,
right?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Like what's the point?
Yeah,
Especially here in
exactly.
a cool
And-
community.
And what you find too is that as we were talking earlier, it's a very small community in a very big city, right? And truly, the businesses support each other, but the community supports those that support each other. And I think that's what you're seeing as the outcome in a very short period of time.
I mean, listen, when you first open the doors, like the first day, first week, first month, and you're like, oh my God, did I do this? Did I do the right thing? Right? My money is all here. There's nobody in here.
Right.
But literally from day one, we will have people walk over from City Walk, from the apartment complex around us. They'll come in one day. They'll tell their friend comes the next day, and they'll tell us, my friend was here yesterday. Literally the third day, oh my God, my friends were here the day before and the day before, and here I am now.
Yep.
The community sustained us and still does, but that crucial first month, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, I was in disbelief. Like, these people are choosing to come here. They're choosing to spend their money here with us, right, in new business, and choosing to support us and give us the feedback, constructive criticism, right? It's not just feedback to give me the feedback. It was truly things that we could change and make an impact right away. And they keep telling other people about it, and they'll come and sit at the bar when we're busy. And if we're
Yes.
busy, they will wait. They're like, no, give it to these people. Let them sit down. We can wait. We can sit at the bar.
Yeah.
Like
Great
it felt like
bar.
it's their home. It felt like they're just there to help us.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we're here to kind of criticize you and knock you down a couple pegs. And it was all, let's build you up, let's lift you up, let's see what we can do to kind of push your business forward.
Sure.
It was amazing, and it still is. And I'm still in awe, and I mean, it's still happening,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But it's like you can see it clear as day, that first, day, week, month, like, because it's
just
either
keeps
your
growing.
friends,
Right.
it's either your friends are coming to support you,
Right.
and there's so
Yeah.
much of these that are gonna come and pay and support you all the time, or it's actually the community that's around you that just kind of embraced you.
And why
It's
that is
awesome.
so important. Southern Post is new.
Yeah.
You guys are the first restaurant. I mean, that's a
Shiny.
bold leap.
There
you
was
know?
no foot traffic. Like,
Yeah.
not people would come for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gonna, as the word gets out, as marketing happens, I mean, people are gonna begin to gravitate towards Southern Post. But to your point, that first month, when not a lot of people even probably realize, like, is stuff
Right.
even opening up here or not? Like, that is critical,
That
and
is
that is where
critical.
that community
Yeah.
support comes into play.
And
And
people
that's
would
that's
say-
Roswell, you know.
Yeah.
People would say, we didn't know it's even open.
Yeah.
Until my friend told us. But for a new restaurant in an isolated space at the time,
Right.
I know it's growing now, but at the time it was only us, not on Canton, right?
Right.
To be able to get to a full house on the weekend, of course, not on a
Amazing.
weeknight, within the first month, that's amazing.
Yeah, it
Like,
is. It
Nobody
is.
can ask for better than that.
I
All
believe
we
it.
can say is thank you for your investment in Roswell. We'll continue to support.
And thank you for the investment of Roswell in us.
Well, you absolutely have that. And
Absolutely.
so raise your cup. It's always a great day to do business in Roswell, but it's a better day when we've got mom's recipes. Cheers
Cheers,
Cheers,
guys.
Cheers.
To our
Thank you.
moms.
to all the moms.